All right, now, it's important that we start a business, that we have a financial model that works. One that we have more money coming in than going out. So I know now I've got to spend, let's say, $100 for the van of some type. I got to put gas in that thing.
Right.
Probably have that $100 include the insurance?
It does. Yeah.
Okay. And so now someone's got to go, and someone's got to go drive the van.
Right.
Is
Yep.
that one of you two again?
Typically.
Most of
Yeah.
the time, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then, so we get into this brewery and we have an hour there, and you're charging for 3 breweries though, $55 per person.
Right.
That brewery gonna give you, if I'm the brewer, I'd say, come in, the beer's on the house.
Oh, you mean
Snacks.
for us?
Yeah, no, I would, no, yeah,
For the group,
for your group.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Do they, I guess they don't give you that good a deal.
Not quite.
They don't go that far,
We
yeah.
definitely have had some good ones. It ranges. It depends who we're working with. I think on the low end, we will get $2 off,
Right.
with the
$2
exception of one
off of
major guy.
whatever their
Whatever their
retail
charge
is.
is.
Right. Yeah. But some of them will go as far as half price, and some of them we have, because profitability was a thing that we did not experience for several months.
Well, if someone came
Yeah.
to a tasting for them, right?
Yeah.
Do they have other tastings? The people come in there?
Uh,
Or they're
yeah,
just,
of
they
course,
have,
they
but
do.
somebody comes in.
Right.
And they're gonna have the experience that you're gonna have. What are they gonna charge that person to sit down for an hour and taste some beer?
Sure. At a full-scale
much-
production brewery,
yeah.
$10 to $12 typically.
Per person,
Per person.
Yeah.
10 to 12 bucks.
And they'll charge us 6 to
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 to 8.
5 to 8 per brewery. So you've gotta pay 3 breweries $15 to $40 of your $55 you're getting. Is that right?
Yep. 15 to 24.
Right. Yeah.
15 to 24. So your margin is about, you need about 100.
About half.
It's about half.
Yeah.
Your cost of that, your cost of your van in there, so your cost of all that stuff is about $25 to $30.
Yeah.
Sure.
Any tour where we drive, we charge 65 or a couple bucks more.
Right.
Good.
We have
So
a
you
couple
charge
walking
65.
tours that allow us to bring price down, which we came up with on purpose in
So
order to
how
make
many
more.
people have you got to take in some kind of van to break even?
That's
4 or 5.
You could break even with 4 or 5.
I think so. Right.
to break even. Yeah. Yeah. We won't make anything.
You
on
won't
4 or
make
5,
anything, but you'll break even and have some. But if you get up to 15,
Oh yeah.
we're cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then
Now-
you're,
Well-
few $100 maybe.
And you'd be even more cool if you got up to 30.
Oh yeah.
But you gotta get a
Absolutely.
bit- have you ever been up to 30?
Yeah, we've been up
Yeah.
to over 50 before.
Wow.
We have utilized an actual bus company locally for that type of
Greyhound
arrangement.
size luxury
Okay.
bus.
So now, this whole process? This is business, right?
Yeah.
What's my cost?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
A da, and then I got to have cash flow because if I'm going to do this tour, I need to make a nickel so I can do the second tour, or I'm going to starve.
Right.
And we all like to eat, and we like to feed our families, and all that stuff. So you figure this out. Now, marketing is always right. How do you get a customer?
Sure.
How do you get that first customer?
Sure. Yeah.
And then how do you get that customer to, do your customers come back, or they're one-time customers probably?
We have
Most
had
of them are one time.
Most, yeah.
But they might tell somebody.
Of course.
I
or
think they
review
have.
us on
Yep.
TripAdvisor or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how do you get your word out to people who would be interested in this kind of tour? How do you do that?
Sure. Well, having, especially at the beginning, virtually no money for traditional marketing, we kind of had to think of ways
And
to
see,
do it organically.
It's better to act, even if you have money, act like you don't have it.
Sure.
It forces you to think.
Because in my life, my early ventures, I had some money to put in them, and guess what? I lost all the money before I figured out how to make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you think that, I don't care how much money you have, act like you don't have any. And that will give you to the solution of getting positive cash flow, treating the customer right, give them the right value, because if you give them the right value and they have an enjoyable experience, they'll tell somebody.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's a great, what we started making after the 6-month mark or so over the next year, we just sat on for the longest time.
Right.
Because we didn't know what was going to happen next, what costs we might incur unexpectedly. So even though we had a little bit of cash flow, we did act like we didn't have
Act
any.
like you didn't have
yeah.
any.
For a long, even with marketing and things like that.
All right, so back to marketing. Are you spending a lot of money in marketing, or you're not? You couldn't. All right, so
can't.
what do you do to market?
What I think our main focus goes into is kind of building a brand, just of fun, knowledgeable guys who love beer.
Yeah. You're going to have a good day. There's going to be a lot of good energy. You're going to learn a lot, like-minded people together. Because we also have two competitors that we have to, think about as well. And one of the things we consciously talked about very upfront was being the cool, hip, fun company versus the other one that existed at the time when we started.
And your company's called what?
Atlanta Beer Tours.
Atlanta Beer Tours.
Straightforward.
.com.
Straightforward. It just tells
Can't
Atlanta
miss
Beer
it.
Tours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of says that. It's another good lesson. I know what you do.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You know my
that's
website.
for sure.
Yeah, Atlanta Beer Tours. Now, have you thought about you've got a methodology now that
Yep.
kind of works for you? A lot of people out there, 510,000 people, 510,000 people every month are starting a business.
Right.
Most of us have an idea, like you had an idea, but you've gone through the learning curve of this business.
Yep.
Why don't you ever thought about not franchising, but maybe having some program to expand your world and
Sure.
and teach other people for some.
Yep.
Because you've got a lot to. If I was going to get in the beer tour business, I'd much rather pay you some money to help me set up my stuff to get going and be my partner, right?
Sure.
And we have been approached a handful of times
Right.
about that. I remember there was some lady in Bakersfield, California, got in touch with me with that very question.
Yeah.
Do you guys franchise? What sort of franchise kits might you offer? And of course, we don't have any of that at the moment, especially then.
The
but-
greatness of franchise, I think, is a great American thing, and because it's what McDonald's and you see all the different people, the packages, and people get the expertise and the value of the brand and all the stuff, and they go make money. You people have learned the beer tour business.
Right.
And you're learning every day, and to share that with somebody else and to set up a network of some type, doesn't have to be franchising, it could be something. But if people are listening to this and they say, gosh, that sounds fun, I'd like to, and you could do it part-time.
Sure.
You could have a job over here, and it's always good to keep a day job while you're doing these
Absolutely.
things.
Which
We
both
both
have.
did. Yeah.
Which you both have done that. That's how you start. It's a good way to start out.
Yeah,
That
it certainly was.
That way it takes the pressure off of you
And
also.
one of the things, we also talked about early, and it was especially, top of mind for me, is I wanted this to stay, in addition to wanting to start a business and making a little bit of money, we wanted partially to do this for fun and to stay plugged into an industry that interested us, craft beer. So we wanted to keep it fun and light as much as we could, intentionally, so that we didn't view it as, oh, I have all this work I have to do, and this is a chore today, and so forth. Sometimes those things happen, but we've done a very good job of not getting into that world to where this is still something we enjoy and love, and it doesn't seem like work 80% of the time, right? So if to a small business startup owner or somebody interested in it out there, I say try to keep that in your mind as much as you can too, and that's just going to come naturally.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing this full-time now?
Me? No. I still have a day
Part-time?
job.
Part-time?
Yeah.
Both part-time?
Yep.
Do you ever see yourself doing it full-time?
I'd love to.
Sure.
I just don't know
Yeah.
if we have to get to.
But you've got to,
Yeah.
you'll take it step by step
Absolutely.
by step, and
Right.
that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Step by step by step by step, and learn, and
Yep.
and who knows what's going to come of that learning and what direction it'll go. It's always been interesting in every business that I've ever started. It ends up going a different direction than I ever thought it was going to start.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
That's
sure.
called experience.
Yep.
That's called seeing the signs, right?
Yep.
Yep.
The signs are reality.
Yeah.
And don't you find that you need to look at reality as you go down the way to see
Sure.
what is really happening?
Sure.
Not only in the income and the expenses, but really what is happening with the consumer experience.
Sure.
Because
And it's tough to do. I mean, you should do it every day, just like you say. It's tough to do when,
Oh, yeah.
when you're trying to figure out one problem and it takes you 2 weeks to figure it out, and then you finally feel yourself in a good spot. You don't want to say, all right, what's the next problem I can solve?
but